And officials of the National Health Insurance Scheme, led by the Executive Officer Sylvester Mensah, are inspecting work at some biometric registration centers in Accra. And Daniel Latte is on the line to give us more details as to what is happening at the centers that they've been to. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Daniel.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Right. Tell us, what is the Chief Executive's impression so far since he's been on tour of the places?
And yes, as you rightly said, we have visited the Beshi scheme, last scheme, and now the Adentan scheme, and now we are the Blikuma scheme. Basically, they have been observing the process and challenges witnessed by the public. And Ken, I understand that the objective of the biometric registration is to issue instant membership ID cards, leading to improved card management. Now, it is to also clean the membership database by preventing duplicate records. Again, I understand that it will implement effective verification system at the point of healthcare service delivery. But there have been some reports of delays in issuance of the cards, and I can say that this has been resolved by the authorities. As I'm talking to you now, the NHIA is asking the general public to cooperate with them to make the exercise a success. And so currently we have the boss, NHI boss, Sylvester Mensah, rightly with us here, and I would let him speak on the issue.
Right. Thanks for that. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us, Sylvester Mensah.
Hello.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good afternoon. Sylvester here.
Right. You've been around the places to see how work is progressing. Since you started this exercise, what is your impression and how many people have been registered so far?
Well, we have quite a number, and on a daily basis it keeps increasing. But the whole idea of migrating onto an instant ID card regime based on biometric data essentially is to address the hitherto perennial problem of delays in ID card issuance to subscribers, which hinder access to healthcare delivery. This is to put paid to the challenge of 3 months, 6 months delays in ID card distribution. But the process is being carried out on an incremental basis. We have implemented it in the Greater Accra region, scaled to the Central region, and currently completed the installation in the Eastern region. We are hoping that by the end of next week we'll move to another region. Essentially, the patronage has been high, the interest has been high, which perhaps is an indication of high and increasing public confidence in the scheme, and in particular in the card. Of course, it is a card that makes one eligible to access healthcare across the country.
Right.
We have had a few challenges. School was on recess recently, and we had all our registration centers choked with students who wanted to receive their cards before they get back to school. They are back in school, the queues have reduced, but even with this reduction, it's still high, the numbers are high. This scheme in Blikuma registers roughly 560 to 650 on a daily basis, but the crowd never reduces. Today's crowd is not that high, but it is still high. We have people in the queue who have been here since very early in the morning.
Right.
The major challenge we have is that those who have had their card not expired still come and join the queue because they want to have the instant card, of course, which is a biometric card. We've been trying to educate them to get them appreciate that you don't need to register if your card is still active.
Right, Mr. Mensah, if sorry to cut you rudely, but if we could quickly take a look at how you're going to expand this.
Again?
You go ahead, round it up, and then let's move on to the next.
Thank you very much. In the Beshi and last scheme, we had instances where subscribers whose cards had almost 6 to 7 months more to expire had all come to join the queue, wanting to replace their old cards with the new instant cards. We want to assure the general public that all cards are valid. You can use your old card. You don't need to rush to register if your old card has not expired, so that at least there will be some decency at the registration center. This exercise is going to continue. It's not going to end. This is a new regime, and forever registration going forward would be through these means. So one doesn't need to rush to register. And we also would want to address this by going to the various institutions, primary, GSS, SSS, and registering so that we can reduce the numbers before school goes on recess.
Okay.
So at the end of the year, we have been able to increase the active membership. We're also focusing on the aged across the country.
Now, Mr. Mensah, beyond focusing on the aged, if you could hear me, how soon do we expect to extend the whole exercise to cover the country?
Well, this exercise started in February this year, and in May, 3 regions have been covered. If we maintain the same pace, we expect that by the close of the year, instant ID card issuance based on biometric data would apply in all the 10 regions in the country. But of course, we expect that by the middle of next year, the queues would have gone down and people would stop rushing to the centers. We are operating a very rigid budget. We are not undertaking a massive nationwide exercise that requires registration in various communities across the country. At the end of the day, we would be wasting resources, because if we procure all those registration kits and undertake a 3-month nationwide exercise, what it means is that after 3, 4, 5 months, all this equipment will become redundant. And so we have adapted this strategy. But unfortunately, the interest in the registration is generating a few hiccups and challenges. And
all right. I think for the sake of time, sorry to cut you, Mr. Mensah. For the sake of time, we'll leave the discussion here. I'm sure we'll be still following your exploits, looking at the biometric registration exercise ongoing. I've been speaking with the CEO of the National Health Insurance Authority, Sylvester Mensah, who is on some rounds inspecting biometric registration exercise. We still